Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my presentation with the topic Requirements for Economic Analysis of 5G Technology Implementation in Smart Factories from End-User Perspective. My name is Raphael Kiesel. I'm Research Assistant and Group Leader at Fraunhofer Institute for Production Technology in Aachen. And together with my colleague Robert Schmidt, I worked on this topic and want to present you our results today. So if we talk about the capabilities of 5G technology for production, and we have heard this already today, there are a lot of use cases which are currently existing and can be improved, as well as completely new use cases which are not existing yet, can be brought to production. For example, augmented reality, it's implemented in some companies yet. However, with 5G and different ways and different possibilities of transmitting data, the augmented reality can be put on a next level. Or a second example, closed loop control of high precision milling, for example. So of complex production processes where wire is not applicable and where 5G and the low latencies can be used in order to enable these not existing use cases in the future. And this improvement of the existing use cases as well as new use cases are expected to increase the GDP of production worldwide. So a study of STL Partners showed that the use cases and the improvement in production until 2030 will be about $750 billion. So this is about 4% of today's GDP in production worldwide, which will be added just by implementing 5G technology. So when we look at both the use cases as well as the study, it can be seen the economic benefits which are expected by implementing 5G in production technology are huge. And when you see this, you probably ask the question, why shouldn't companies say there will not be any company which is not willing to implement 5G technology? I mean, there's obviously a benefit. However, when we look at the study Bitkom did for German production companies, we see that 55% of these companies said at the end of 2019, 5G is currently not in our plans. And when you look at the reason why the German companies said it's not in their plans, 25% said it's a low confidence in the return on invest. 30% said that there's a poor understanding of the use cases and the benefits, and 32% said that it doesn't fit in their business strategy. Equal results could be seen by a study which was done by Ernst & Young, where 70% said that they need vendors, or that they prioritize vendors which can really deliver the business outcome of 5G technology, and 2/3 said that the robust investment case has to exist in order to implement 5G or to decide on implementing 5G in production. So both the more German oriented study as well as the worldwide story show what the real issue is. And the real issue is that there is currently no way of quantifying the economic benefit of 5G technology for production companies. And we now developed a model which helps to evaluate and quantify the economic benefits. But before we did this, we of course had a look at existing research. And looking at the existing research, we basically looked at 5 different factors. So on the one hand, the cost perspective, so the equipment cost, so the CapEx as well as the operational costs, so OpEx. Then we looked if there is research which analyzes the benefits of 5G, so let's say benefits in general, as well as economic quantification of these benefits. And then lastly, we looked if these, let's say, more economic-oriented papers also consider production processes and production use cases. And you can see here on the left in the table the results. So blue always means that it's considered a lot, and white that it's not considered at all. And the main results are, and you can see it based on the bubbles, a lot of research is already done regarding CapEx and OpEx, so the cost part. There's also some research done regarding the benefits, but it's often really qualitative and not quantitative. So the quantification of economic benefits is not taking so much place. And the application to production use cases, that's a real white spot currently. So you have a lot of papers dealing with smart cities and evaluation of 5G implementation in cities, or in but not for the use case of productions. And this is where we want to what we want to change and where we researched in, and in order to evaluate the benefits of 5G for production, basically 3 steps have to be done, and these 3 steps can also already be derived from the research we did before. So imagine you have a production process you want to evaluate. First of all, you of course want to know what's in it for me. So what does 5G bring to my process? And we called this production improvement, and production improvement can be on the one hand savings, and on the other hand increased revenue. But of course, implementing 5G, it's not, unfortunately, not only about improvement, it's also about costs. So we call it 5G network architecture costs, which is on the one hand CapEx and on the other hand OpEx. So for the production process or your factory, this has to be analyzed, and once you know what on the plus and on the minus side is, you can evaluate with economic evaluation methods whether 5G can be beneficial for you or not. So let's have a deeper look how these 3 fields have to be filled in order to fulfill the requirements of production. So first of all, production improvement. There we said in order that this model is accepted by production companies, we should use already existing methodologies. And probably every production company has implemented KPI in order to steer their processes. And that's why also our model involves KPI, so key performance indicator. In this case, we took 5 main key performance indicator. Of course, you could take 10, you can take 20. There are several existing, but it's really important that when you select your KPIs, that they are not overlapping, or that they express the same thing but just with a different formula. So we said it's important that the customer is considered the utilization of the factory, the adaptability, the process precision, as well as the environment. Once your KPI set is selected, it's important that you operationalize your KPI, meaning you give it a formula, you define it precisely. And here it's exemplary given for the TEEP. The TEEP is a measure which is based on the OEE, so the overall equipment efficiency, and the OEE is in this case we add the expected time and the we add the planned downtime to the OEE, so that the TEEP gives a more precise answer if your planned time is the real time. So and it's important once you operationalize your KPI that there is no overlap, and this can be seen when you look at the parameters in the end. And once you have your KPI defined, it's important that you monetize them. So when we, for example, look at the quality of shipped goods, and we say we maximize it, so every KPI has an optimization direction, so either maximize to increase the revenue or minimize to save money. And when we say we have a higher quality of shipped goods, so more goods which were shipped, then we can in the end say that we have a higher revenue, and in this, so a benefit. So this is it for the production improvement. Let's come to the cost part. And as I said, that there is already a lot of research done. I do this quite quickly here. Of course, we can discuss this afterwards. So talking about the cost part, we talk about total cost of ownership. And there we talk mainly about CapEx and OpEx. So you first have to look, what is my investment cost on the one hand, and then what's my operational cost on the other hand. And this cost part gives you a first feeling whether 5G can be beneficial or not, because if the cost part of 5G is lower than, for example, a wired solution or other wireless solution, you can be quite sure that 5G can be beneficial. But this only is a first indicator. In the end, improvement and cost have to be brought together in the evaluation. And that's what we do in the last part. And for the economic evaluation, we basically chose two evaluation methods. The one is the NPV, so the net present value. It's a dynamic evaluation model, and it shows you how the investment develops over time. And the other is the return on invest. The return on invest gives you or shows how efficient the investment is. So how much euro you get back by investing one euro. And if the ROI is over 100%, you can talk about an absolute profitability. So your investment is profitability and will bring more than you invested. And if your profit or ROI is higher than of any other solution, you have the most beneficial option chosen. So to sum it up, you saw that we have developed this theoretical model, and this model covers the aspects decision makers need to decide on the 5G technology implementation. However, currently it's still real theoretical, so it has to be validated and applied to use cases. And it also has to be seen which of the 5G key services is influencing which KPI. So for example, URLC to TEEP. And in the end, the whole point of new business model still has to be analyzed. And with this, I want to thank you very much for your attention, and I'm very much looking forward for the discussion now. Thank you.